اللهم صل على محمد
وآل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الميامين صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد.
We have reached to the ninth of Muharram, the night of AHSUR, known as SHABE AHSUR, the eve of AHSUR, the most significant night in the history of Karbala. This is the night we have been talking about it for the last 9 days, ever since we discussing the situation and the circumstances of Imam Hussein's struggle in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know that Imam Hussein's struggle was not a personal struggle, not a political struggle. It was a struggle to establish the correct version of his grandfather's religion. And that is one of the only reasons that he left Medina for Karbala. In fact, he left for Kufa, but he was stopped and trapped in Karbala. And we have seen the circumstances in which he was trapped in Karbala by the treacherous way of move led by Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad to make sure that he do not reach Kufa, that he will be trapped in Karbala, and he will be cut down because he refused to give his hand in bay'ah in allegiance to the most tyrant of the time, the most un-Islamic individual known as Yazid ibn Muawiyah. So this is the nutshell of the history of Karbala. And be clear about the history of Karbala, there is no if and buts. Historians have written for centuries, over and over again, this simple fact and the reality of the story of Karbala. There is no amendment, there is no addition or subtraction. The orators have been talking about it for centuries, ever since this tragedy occurred. From the time of Imam Sajjad, leading up to the time of Imam Askari, all Imams have actually been commemorated the tragedy of Karbala in such a way that they describe this fact that it was my grandfather's, our grandfather's religion that we have been offered our lives and sacrificed ourselves in order to secure the position of that religion. So the two things we do in Muharram, we shed light to that, and we revive our own faith. We revive our own self. Where are we going in the world? Where are we going in life? Are we going away from the message of Rasulullah, for which Imam Hussein has sacrificed himself? Or we are on that path of Rasulullah's religion, i.e. Sirat al-Mustaqim, i.e. the condition in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in this Quran how to live a life. The mankind owe to Imam Hussein the sacrifice until the Yawm Qiyamah, until the eternity, that you owe to this man called Hussein, who stood alone with his family and his companions to defend the religion of his grandfather. It was new at the time, only 3 generations, Amir al-Mu'mineen's generation, Imam Hassan's generation, and then Imam Hussein's time. Not a long time in the history of establishment of the Islamic State that Rasulullah has successfully established, with a lot of difficulties, with a lot of wars. But it was firmly established. It was not the majority of the Muslims have accepted Islam. Yes, they have accepted some of them on their own terms. And there was an enmity from the enemy side, from the other side, who rejected outrightly Rasulullah, who rejected Amir al-Mu'mineen, who rejected Imam Hassan, and they were bent upon to reject anything what Imam Hussain had to say. And that's exactly what happened on the 10th day of AHSUR. This night is very difficult night for Imam Hussain. Many incidents happened on this night. In fact, the war would have happened on the 9th of Muharram, because the enemy forces were anxious and ready to declare the war and go for the war. And on the 9th, Imam Hussain have requested to have one night, SHABE AHSUR, the night of the 9th, to ibadah. To give it one night for us, so we can pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We can recite Quran, because we know that this is our last night. Tomorrow we will be dying, right, left and center. Nobody will be spared, because the opposition forces were 30,000, 40,000, different riwayat have said different things. But at any cost, there were many thousands as opposed to merely less than 100 people. So it was a war, unjust war, an odd war. So Imam Hussain knew that. So he asked for one night of mohlat, as they call it, a request for the prayers. And all the people at night time was some people who actually went around the camps of Imam Hussain, could see the noise which was going like a buzzing noise of bees. Buzzing noise of bees means people were reciting Quran in such a way that it sounds outside the tent, that the bees are buzzing. Imam Hussain did many things that night. He requested his companions to leave him alone. We repeated that point again and again, that he do not want to impose upon those people who were companions of his. He said that after my life, they want bayat from me, not from you, so leave me. If you want to leave, I'll turn the light off, so nobody will recognize your faces. You can disappear in darkness. This is the night what Imam Hussain have actually requested to his companions. This is the night where also many incidents happened. One of the incidents happened was when Hur has changed his position. Hur is the responsible person for cutting down the supply of water and food lying from Imam Hussein's camp. Hur was the one who made Imam Hussain to stop going to Kufa and trapped him in Karbala. But then he realized his mistake. When he realized that the war is imminent, the war is not going to avert, despite my effort, despite my louder So when he realized that the war is not going to be stopped and it will not be averted, his changed position, because he was a good man in his heart. So that is also an incident happened this night, the night of the 10th. He came with his hand tied with his children, with his sons, and he fell on the Imam Hussein's feet to asking for forgiveness. The grand tawbah that he has actually offered to Imam Hussain, to accept me and my mistake and allow me to fight the very first time, first person that to be in the war tomorrow, that I will fight and I will be the first one to go from your companion's side. Imam Hussain accepted his tawbah, repentance. Imam Hussain was a kind man. Imam Hussein's kindness was being shown in this night. He offered the sanctuary to his companions to leave him. Secondly, accepted the repentance from Yazid ibn Rihai, and who request Imam Hussein to allow him to be his soldier, and Hur has accepted the position in Jannah. Today we are talking about Hur, not about those Jahannam soldiers who fought against Imam Hussein. We don't know who they were. Yes, we know who Hur was, because Hur came to the camps of Imam Hussein and become the Shuhada. Also, another important incident happened when Shimr al-Jawshan came to the camps and met Abul Fazl al-Abbas. And he came because with the protection order. He says that I have brought a protection order because you are related to us through our tribe. So therefore, tomorrow is going to be the difficult one. We offer you a protection. Abul Fazl al-Abbas became so angry. He said, woe to you to bring the protection for me and not for my master Hussein. How dare you can do such a thing? To think even to give me a protection. That was also happened on the night of the AHSUR. So many incidents, these are the major incidents. Of course, the reading of Quran sounds like a buzzing of the bees around the camps of Imam Hussein happened. People spend night and therefore recommended to be awake all night tonight. Recite poetry, read Quran, SHABE AHSUR. The night of the AHSUR is very difficult night. And therefore the tradition goes that people spend all night awake and doing ibadah, doing all sorts of things on this night in order to be preparing themselves for AHSUR. The night of Taqwa, the night of war, the day of Taqwa. And that happened there. On the day of AHSUR, we talked about it, everybody offered one by one their sacrifices. Imam Hussein's own son, Ali Akbar, nephew Qasim, Awn Muhammad, nephews, nieces, all of those nieces were in the camp, but they were thirsty, they were hungry. Children were hungry and thirsty because the water supply is being cut off the last 3 days from 7th of Muharram. And therefore it was a time for, last time was, he goes to his wife Rabab and he says that I will take my 6 months baby Ali Asqat in the battlefield and ask for 2 drops of water for this 6 months baby. I know that your milk has dried, but I will do my best to take this baby into the battlefield. He takes baby Ali Asghar in his abar, goes to the battlefield. The enemy says that he's bringing a Quran under the abar. But he opens the abar and he says that, look, this is my 6 months baby. What is his crime? If you want to deny the food and water, don't deny to this baby. And at that time, Harmala, who was the most trained archer, was being ordered to fight, to leave the arrow and hit the baby Ali Asghar. Each time Harmala lifts the arrow, he puts down. Why he puts down? Because he can see the mother of Ali Asghar, Rabab, on the camp of Imam Hussein, comes at the door and sees that, how can you slay a baby like 6 months old? And so he puts down. When Asad said, you are the archer, the trained archer, what happened to you? Harmala again lifts the arrow, and finally he shoots the arrow. And that hits because Imam Hussain was holding Ali Asghar in his lap. The historians have written the arrow hits his neck, goes through the body of the arm of Imam Hussain. The baby actually takes a turn in his lap. And that is the height of cruelty of this war. Why we shed tears? Because this war was unjust war. Height of cruelty. That the 6-month-old baby has not been spared from the enemy side. Imam Hussain takes the baby back to the khayyam of ladies, and he hesitates 7 times. He goes forward and he comes backward. He goes forward and he goes forward. How can I say that? And Bibi Sakina says, the baby Sakina says that, Baba, you have given the water to baby Ali Asghar, not to me. And his hands and his abak was all full with blood. And that time, Imam Hussain realized that baby Ali Asghar has left this world. But he hesitated that how can he show this face of a dead baby, of a slain baby to his mother Rabah? And therefore he said, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Razan bi qazahi taslima li amri. He again said to Allah, accept the sacrifice of this baby. Razan bi qazahi taslima li amri. And that's how the Ali Asghar has been slain on the day of AHSUR. After all the children and companions and the major force of Imam Hussain was being lost. He was one of the last ones to give a sacrifice, and after that it was a turn for Imam Hussain, and that we will talk about tomorrow, because Imam Hussein's day is tomorrow, the AHSUR. He leaves this world. But baby Ali Asghar's departure from this world shakes the world, shakes the heart of the hardest people. That how can a 6-month-old baby, and if you go to Karbala, you will see the place of Ali Asghar's arrow, where the arrow has been hit. There is a maqam, there is a place there, and people go for ziyarah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you tawfiq to visit Karbala, to all the places of ziyarah. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.